Thorkil Sonne, who is the founder of Specialisterne. So welcome to MakeChangeTV.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you. Can you please share with our viewers what is Specialisterne and how did you start a company?
Well, Specialisterne is a place where people on the autistic spectrum have a kind of a free space where they can build their capabilities within a comfort zone that they have very often struggled a lot to find. Specialisterne is Danish for the specialists. I started because my youngest son 12 years ago was diagnosed with autism, and as parents you want a good perspective for the future of all your children, not just the older ones. Yeah. But when we found out that autism is a lifelong disability, and it probably means that you'll be rejected from the labor market, you'll be bullied at school, so getting an education and even getting a job will be so difficult. And as parents, we'll fight his battles at any time, but we'll pass away one day, and what will make our son a happy man when we do so? And we think if he could be respected for his very nice and special personality and appreciated for all the skills he has in a meaningful and productive job, then that we can go to the grave with a good conscience.
So you are, Specialisterne is the first company, social company that employs people with, autism or similar challenges. So what have been the biggest challenges that you have faced during the years, and how did you find the strength to overcome them?
Well, the challenges have been lining up right from the start. The first one was to try to raise some funding. I did not succeed, so I had to ask my wife to mortgage our house. That was tough, but then you're really focused on finding solutions. So we started out without any funding, with a business community who are used to people with disability as potential cheap labor, not someone who could do better jobs as we claim we can do. A public sector who are not used to see for-profit companies as actors in this field. So we were stranded in between the public sector and the business sector. But I think we have proven our case. We have demonstrated that really in order to be a player in the market, you have to play on the terms. And I think that's what the business sector has appreciated a lot, that we have established ourselves on the same terms as they do. And we have not had any investments or grants or something like that could kind of make us into a project. It has never been a project. It has been operational from day one. So I think we have opened the door from a corporate perspective, and we use the terms of the corporate sector. We try to convert disability descriptions into personal business profiles. We try to find the tasks in the corporate sector that we can do better, because our people on the autistic spectrum, they have a structured mind, they have a good memory, they have a passion for detail, and they can do tasks that can outperform what they're used to in the market. And we don't want to compete on cheap prices, but on value of what we do. And also the public sector, the government, the municipalities have appreciated that actually in order to really scale how to provide new solutions for this group, you have to find kind of market-driven solutions. And we have an ambition within 2015 to grow from the present 35 consultants being people on the autistic spectrum working for us to about 100, and to help 1,000 into employment based on our knowledge, but not within our offices. So we have a scaling perspective, and I also learned that autism is not just a Danish phenomenon, it's a global. There may be 1% of any population that needs the knowledge, the understanding, the ability to build comfort zone around the individuals in order to let them really thrive. So we have set a goal of enabling 1 million jobs on a global scale, and we're trying to create a combination of a movement, an organization, and we are in contact with people in about 60 countries who want us to help. And we have started up in Scotland, Iceland, Switzerland, and we are in the planning mode of about 10 countries right now. So this is going to be a global initiative.
So also just want to clarify this to our viewers. What you're talking right now is actually the work from the Specialist Foundation, right?
Yes.
And not the company, because now it's more like two separate operations.
Yes, Specialisterne is started as a simple for-profit company, and after 5 years I sold Specialisterne without debt with 60 employees for 1 Danish kroner, about 20 US cents, to a not-for-profit entity, because I was getting in contact with so many, and most of them are parents who have kids with autism, and I cannot say no. I can say, as soon as I have the chance, I will help. And in order to go global, to make a global impact, we needed a not-for-profit umbrella organization that now owns 100%. So we have a combination of a for-profit operational company and a not-for-profit kind of dissemination organization.
What I also find fascinating is your philosophy or your dandelion model. Can you please explain that?
Yes. Our logo is the seed of a plant called Tarxacum officinale in Latin. So that's the very precise definition of this plant. It's known mostly as dandelions. Kids love it. They blow dandelions, they make necklaces. But as you grow up, your own norms are taken over by society's norms. And when you buy a house with a garden, you'll probably see the same plant as a weed, because your lawn has to be just as equally green as the neighbors, and only the flowers that you have decided are welcome in your flower bed. But there's a smart farmer in Denmark who grows dandelions. He makes a living out of it. He knows that it's one of the most valuable plants in the Danish nature. If you treat it well, it's so productive, it's so valuable for natural medicine, salad, beer, wine, coffee, tea. You can make a living out of the same plant. The plant is the same. But what is a weed? What is a herb? A weed is a plant in an unwanted place. If we can take the same plant, transform it to a wanted place, it turns into a herb. And the very powerful message is, who decides? You do. Every one of us have the power to take the weed perspective or the herb perspective. And we kind of address a lot of areas where there's a lot of weed perspective. Like when there are articles about autism in the newspapers, it's very often about how many 1% of the population may be, and how costly that will be to society and put pressure on the special education system. That's the weed perspective. We take the herb, we say, what is it that our corporate sector needs? It's people who think differently. It's people who can contribute to innovation, to a high quality product. So this could be the most unique new kind of resource for the corporate sector. Everything can be copied cheaper somewhere in the world. What we need are people who can contribute to innovation, to high quality products. And we provide our commitment to the corporate sector is that we have some knowledge that we can help you with our dandelion model to make a comfort zone around these individuals who you cannot just integrate, expect them to fit into the standard model in your company. You have to accommodate them. And we have a lot of experience in turning this kind of disability into special abilities and make them thrive at the workspace. Most of our consultants work at the customer side among the employees of the customer. And that is, I think, huge opportunity for the corporate sector from a strategic point and from an operational point, because the skills in this group of untapped resources is tremendous.
It's also about looking at our strengths instead of weaknesses. I mean, this is more or less
Absolutely.
Every person has something unique to offer.
And just think of some of the geniuses of this world, Einstein, Darwin, Newton. What would happen if they were born today in a country like Denmark? Well, they will have their maybe a diagnosis within the autistic spectrum and be put in special schools, and no one would have any expectations. They were living in a part of our history where Asperger's syndrome was not defined as a disability. At that time, we were used to people who were different, maybe a little awkward, nerdy professor types, but that was okay. We need to get back to that period of time again.
Exactly. So as a social innovator, what would be your personal advice for people or young students who want to follow your steps?
Well, it's I think our advice would be to not expect that there are solutions that you have taught how to use that will be solving any situation. It's about being a good person, having a big heart, and then you have to be prepared for a lot of experiences, positive and negative. It's like living a life without a filter, to be in this sector. The joys can be wonderful and the negatives can be heartbreaking, but it's really adding dimension to the life. So I'll encourage everyone to pay attention on trying to balance idealism with business. It's a tough balance, and I think maybe you cannot really be taught how to be a social innovator. I think in my case, a personal family situation was the trigger, but we definitely need a lot of people from business schools, whoever and all other universities to see the more dimensional part of business, because business just for business, I don't think society expects more than that in the future. And I think the people I met here at this conference today in Copenhagen could be wonderful change makers in the future. It's not enough that there are people like myself who were thrown out into a situation they found a way to handle. We need really the basis in our society, the students at business schools and universities to have this openness toward opportunities and to challenge social issues with a business mindset. I think that's very, very important.
So really about learning by doing, and then of course have a big heart and let the heart shows you the way.
And expect that there will be bumps on the road.
Exactly.
But bumps are there to be dealt with.
Makes you stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's
Exactly.
how they say,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So just one final last question. I think I have said this before, but the goal of reaching, providing jobs for 1 million people, do you have like a time frame or like?
Before I retire,
Okay, good.
I have a strategy. So the strategy is to be able to show the way in all countries in the world. So we want a Specialisterne operation as the showcase where people can come and see what happens if we build comfort zones around these people, and that could be kind of the springboard to the corporate sector. And from there we want to teach the corporate sector our management model, the dandelion model, so that they can start hiring and managing these people themselves. Because our ultimate goal is that there's no need for companies like ours anymore when the corporate sector have been truly inclusive. Not just integrating people on the company's terms, but invest the little thing it takes to adapt to the comfort zone of the individual. So when we go from thousands to the million will be when Ford, when Tata, when the big organizations, they learn our management model and start doing the work themselves.
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to learn more about your company and also your vision. And thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here with Søren Stig from Maersk Line. So welcome to our show.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So what is your motivation for joining this conference?
Well, first of all, I'm personally quite curious of nature, so I think this is an opportunity for me to come and get some impulses and some feedback from a large portion of very, very bright young people. So it provides an opportunity to get a sense of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think if I apply that to my job as head of sustainability for Maersk Line, this is also quite important. So, in terms of understanding what our role is and how we can contribute and also become you can say, or continue to be an employer of choice, I think it's quite important that we are taking active role in these type of events.
Yeah. Now I know that Maersk is a huge company, and everybody has an image of how Maersk is as a company.
Yeah.
Which is not a company that you relate it to sustainability or social innovation.
Yeah.
So how do you work with it?
Yeah. I think for us, the outset is that when we talk about sustainability or social innovation, we really talk about our core business, and we talk about how we integrate that in our core business. So we don't see ourselves as defined as a social innovation company per se. For us, it's very important to think it into how we go about doing our business. And in particular, I think it's relevant as we invest, and we do so quite heavily in emerging markets and with customers that are engaged in social-like projects. So we understand we have a role to play, and we also impact society in many different ways. And I think coming to terms with that is one aspect, but also then finding out how can we leverage that, in a positive way, is what today is about in my view. So I think we do understand we have a role to play. We're not experts, but we're taking baby steps in the right direction.
So it's more like corporate social responsibility.
No, it's not defined in terms of corporate responsibility from a philanthropic point of view, but it's more about trying to understand with the services and the solutions and the capabilities that we have in the company, how can we apply them in a fashion that's aligned with what society needs, in a social context. And for us, it's about being much more aware about that, but it's also about accelerating where we can see we have a role to play that has a positive effect. So I think that's the main motivation.
So perhaps you can tell me about a case that you're working with.
Right now we're working with a couple of cases in different geographies, and they range from building a port, so building infrastructure in a particular country. In this case, it's Nigeria, but it could also be working with how we help a smallhold Indian farmer get his bananas to a new market. So we provide some core capabilities in terms of transport, logistics, and infrastructure. And we then work with our customers, try and find out, how can we contribute to that? How can we open that market up? And how can we help that farmer get his produce to market and thereby get a better price, and thereby also better income, and fundamentally help raise, standards of living within his own family or in the community that he or she is part of.
Yeah. So with your current strategy when it comes to sustainability right now, where do you see yourself and the company in 5 years from now?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have some very pressing short-term challenges that we need to overcome, both financially, but also, quite frankly, we are a large emitter, so we have to do a lot to try and curb our impact on the environment. But flipping that around, I think we have an opportunity to really start partnering with our customers and with society at large in perhaps a little bit of a different way than what we've done in the past. So, I'm very encouraged by the outlook. Despite the fact that we're in a short-term fix here, I think we will be in a much better place in 5 years, and I think we'll be a much more agile and attractive partner.
Thank you so much for this short
interview.
Thank
You're welcome. Yeah.
That's all from us today. It has been an inspiring day, and I hope you have enjoyed watching the episode. Remember to connect with me through Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, to follow me and get to know each other and also get more information about social innovation. And if you haven't watched the episode number 6, please do so and join our Fun and Run event on the 24th of June this year to get in shape and also support a good cause. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and remember to smile and shine. Bye! I hope you have enjoyed. Last time, promise.